For decades, the red poppy has been a symbol of remembrance for the many lives lost through war. Throughout November, it's worn by supporters of the Poppy Appeal, and this year it's also been used in a now famous public artwork at the Tower of London to commemorate the war dead in World War I. But is our attitude towards the poppy changing? Some are questioning if we are being pressured into wearing what should be a symbol of our freedom. With me now is Ian Dunt, editor of politics.co.uk, and Piers Hernu, a writer and commentator. Ian, no poppy, why?
No, I've worn it before and I'll probably wear it again sometime. However, very slowly, something quite pernicious is happening to the way that we wear the poppy. This thing that was our act of remembrance, our way of thinking about the sacrifices that our grandparents, our parents made, is being hijacked. Elements of the right-wing press, anti-immigration groups, trying to put pressure on people, especially the Muslim community. You wear this now, and it doesn't mean remembrance anymore. It now increasingly means prove your loyalty to the country. And until that's over, I don't feel very comfortable wearing it myself.
It's more of a statement not wearing one than wearing one, isn't it?
I'm not entirely convinced that's true. I mean, if you're not wearing one, there's many reasons why you might not wear one. If you are wearing one, there's usually one singular reason for it.
Samantha Stretch says, Piers, people have a right to choose. That's why we live in a democratic society. Educating people as to the reason behind the poppy is just as important. What do you think?
Yes, I mean, absolutely right. And that's why I wear a poppy, and many people do with pride. I thought what I read Ian's article on his website, which has sort of led to this discussion. And I found it rather confusing. I couldn't really work out why you're not wearing one this year, but you might wear one in future. It's a very simple thing, the poppy. It's a statement of kinship and compassion and remembrance of our war dead. Whether the war was right, whatever war it was, whatever politics you come from, it's simply a humanitarian gesture. And for you to encourage people not to buy a poppy and not to wear it, I find very disappointing and rather irresponsible. I mean, have you bought a poppy this year, but you're just not wearing it?
I pay the money every year.
So you pay the money, but you choose not to wear it?
And I don't think there's any point where I say that people shouldn't buy a poppy. What people do is up to them. And in fact, I think it's a quite beautiful symbol and to be commended. This is not about that. This is about certain cynical elements in our media, especially our media, but also our political class, who are trying to take the sacrifice of our grandparents and turn it into a hammer that they can beat immigrant communities around the head.
What cynical elements? Who are you talking about?
So let's say, for instance, I mean, the Daily Mail had a story the other day on Muslims. It said it's urging Muslims to wear the poppy hijab. This morning in the Metro,
it's urging. It's not forcing them to wear it. It's urging.
Yes, I mean, it's urging them, but why on earth should Muslims be urged to wear a poppy hijab? Why them more than anybody else? The quite clear, implicit message in that is you're a Muslim right now, prove your loyalty to this country. And if our grandparents died for anything in that war, it's surely the fact that we don't need to prove our loyalty to our country.
Jane Cooley on Facebook says, I always wear one, but don't think any less of someone who doesn't. The thing is, Piers, what about symbols in general? Why does the poppy get special dispensation in many ways when other ribbons and wristbands and flowers just don't?
Well, I think the poppy is perhaps the first of the symbols. It started in 1921 after John McCrae, a Canadian soldier, wrote In Flanders Fields, which refers to poppies and how they grew in the cenotaph amongst the gravestones. You know, it was probably the first popular symbol that people wore to show allegiance to a group. And then subsequent to that, we've had all sorts of rubber wristbands and, you know, daffodils and things like that, all of which have reasonable...
The daffodil's the Welsh national flower. I think that's slightly different, isn't it? Well, a Marie Curie cancer as well. But
yes,
people wear daffodils and leeks in Wales for completely different reasons, to be fair to them.
It's perfectly legitimate. If people want to wear those things, I've got no problem with it.
The thing is, finally, to you, Ian, are people confusing wearing the poppy with, in some way, justifying and supporting war, when really what they're doing is remembering the people, whether they wanted to or not, who were brave and gave their lives for our country?
We've always had quite a mixture of motivations when we talk about the poppy. But actually, I think overwhelmingly, when we show it, for instance, in the Tower of London, when we show the scale of loss that we suffered, I think it's actually quite hard to wear it and take a very pro-war stance.